Okay. We are back. We lost connection because I am quite far from my Wi-Fi router, but it's fine. So I am saying that I'm going to tell you guys the importance of disclosing to a child. Why is it important? Why is it deemed as important? By who, by the way? By us nurses, doctors, and people that deeply care about children who are living with HIV. The number one reason that you need to disclose to your child is so that you can provide your child with helpful information, not only helpful information, but also suitable information. And when I speak about suitable information, I'm talking about information that will help the child to understand. But she did absolutely nothing. I'm going to say she, I don't know why, but he or she did absolutely nothing to deserve to be HIV positive. Most of the times, kids associate HIV with punishment that comes after you have misbehaved, after you have done something that you are not supposed to do. As I've said on the previous live, is that I sat down with a young girl and I asked her, what does she know about HIV? And what she told me is that, she didn't even say through sexual intercourse, but she said, you get it when you are sleeping around. And I asked her, have you slept around? Have you slept with any boy? And she said to me, no, I haven't slept with anyone. And then I asked her, then how did you get it? And she was like, I don't know. And with this type of session, the mother had disclosed to the child, you are HIV positive, but it was that. It ended there. But okay, listen, the tablets that you've been drinking all along from the time you were young up to now, let's say the child is 9 years old, up to now, they are for HIV. So you are taking these tablets because you are HIV positive. So that is the type of disclosure that most parents do. And to be honest, that is like only touching the surface of disclosure. Disclosure is an ongoing process, especially when it comes to children. When it comes to adults at the particular moment, it's easier to say you are HIV positive, that is why you are drinking these tablets. It's easy for you to disclose to an adult. But in terms of kids, you gotta dive in. You gotta explain certain things, because if you do not, then the child will have interrogations with himself or herself. Every time he or she hears what the world or what her environment says about HIV, she's going to be left with a lot of questions and a lot of confusion, and she will not even have anyone to ask, because number one, with kids, it's totally different. You can't just come and say you are HIV positive. The reason you've been drinking these tablets from the time you were young, it's because you are HIV positive and you have to drink them for the rest of your life. And I'm also drinking it. Your brother is drinking. Your uncle is drinking. That is not the disclosure that kids wants to hear, because they understand, with us adults, it's okay for us to live with HIV or to even get HIV because we are sexually active. Yes, kids know that we are sexually active. And now, if you're gonna come and tell a 9-year-old you have HIV, and the only thing she has heard about HIV is the adverts of Brothers of Life or something like that, where they say circumcise so that you do not get HIV, or use a condom so that you do not get HIV, and their teachers at school are saying stay away from boys or girls, because if you do sleep around, if you become naughty, you're gonna get HIV or you're gonna get pregnant. And I asked this kid, but when have you slept around? And she said, no, I haven't slept around. And I said, then how did you get HIV? And she was like, I don't know. And that's where we get to step in as nurses who are trained with kids alive to be able to disclose properly to the child, and for the child and the caregiver to understand. But disclosure, it's an ongoing thing. What do we mean when we're saying it's an ongoing thing? So we have 3 types of disclosures, you guys, for kids. We have 3 types of disclosures, and they all go according to the age of the child, the language that is appropriate for you to use, for the child to understand and to receive your information. And the type of disclosures that we have what we call a non-disclosure, and that is from 0 to 3 years. Obviously, a 0 to 3 years kid does not understand anything, but what I know is that they can see pictures, okay? They can see pictures, and they love color. So with non-disclosure, it's 0 to 3 years. It's 0 to 3 years, and you don't get to tell the child anything really, because they are not going to understand. But when you move from 3 years up to 9 years, now that is where we do what we call partial disclosure. Let's make it to 10 years. We call partial disclosure. What is partial disclosure? We use a language that the kid will understand. We are not gonna come to the child and say, you are HIV positive, that's why you are drinking these tablets that you've been drinking. Or when Zanele, you remember, Mos, you've been drinking these tablets for as long as you were young. The reason you are drinking these tablets is because you are HIV, you don't have allergy. I lied to you. These are the stories that I hear in my consulting room, that I've been lying to you. You remember the tablets that I told you, but there's an allergy. They are not for allergy, they are for HIV. And with a 3-year-old to a 9-year-old, when you're saying they are HIV positive, the only thing that comes to their mind is, have I been sexually active? Because that's what HIV is associated with. Have I been naughty? Have I been sleeping around? Have I been misbehaving? Because HIV is attached with that. Now, we don't call HIV to children who are 3 to 9 years. We call it a jam. There is absolutely no child who doesn't know what a jam is, okay? Because jams are on TV adverts. Your Lifebuoy adverts will tell you and even show you germs on your hands, that you need to wash your hands so that you don't have germs. So we call HIV a germ instead of calling it an HIV. We don't give it a name. And kids know what is a germ, and they know what germs do to their bodies. They know that germs are not good for their bodies. And now you need to tell them that, listen, you have a germ in your body, and you know that germs can be killed. They can be killed by medication. They can be killed by sanitizers, like your COVID. They can be killed by sanitizers. They can be killed by washing your hands. And when you are sick, it means the germ is in your body, and you can go and see Sister Z at the clinic, and she's going to give you medication. And when you get better, it means the germ is dead in your body. When you explain to a child about sickness, you call it a germ. You tell them, Ogba, the reason you are sick now is because you have a germ. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. It's because you have a germ, and this germ is attacking your body, and now it's making you to feel sick. All right. The moment you start explaining to a child why you have a germ, they know that everybody can get germs, because germs, you can get them anywhere. You don't have to be sexually active for you to get a germ. You can get a germ from the soil. They know that we don't drop something or food on the floor and pick it up and put it in our mouth because it's dirty, and dirt makes you sick. So you explain to kids, but you have a germ, and this germ, it's different from the germs that we normally have. So these are the types of germs that I have on my book. This germ, it's a headache germ. You see, it has a bandage on its head. So basically, this germ causes headache, and this germ has a temperature, or an elevated temperature, and it has a thermometer on its mouth. Obviously, Sister Z puts thermometers on their mouth when they're feeling hot. And this germ causes diarrhea because it's having diarrhea over there. This germ is for cough because he is coughing. And this germ is for dizziness. You guys can see the eyes there, they are feeling dizzy. So these are the germs that they can have in their bodies, and they will make them to have these signs and symptoms of having diarrhea, having a headache, elevated temperature, coughing. So you have to tell them, oh, but everybody can get germs. You see these germs, they are familiar. You know them. You normally have headache, isn't it? You normally get diarrhea, isn't it? You start by explaining, Ugba, there are different types of germs and everybody can get germs. And once you now explain to them that when you drink tablets or when you wash your hands or when you open new windows, these germs can die. When you go to the clinic and tell Sister Z, Sister Z, I have a headache, and she gives you paracetamol, then the headache germ is going to die. When you tell them that okay, germs do die, by the word germs do die, we mean that a certain illness can be cured, because when the germ dies, it means you can be cured. And now when we move to HIV, when we get to tell our kids about they are HIV positive, we tell them, you have a germ, it's similar to other germs. And when we are saying it's similar to other germs, we mean that HIV is not different from other illnesses. HIV is a chronic illness, just like hypertension, just like diabetes, just like any other chronic condition that is there. But the only difference with this particular germ is that it doesn't die. That's what we tell them. We tell them that the HIV virus, it doesn't die, but we don't call it an HIV virus, we call it a germ. So basically in this picture, you guys, you can see that there are different types of germs. There are coughing, some are having diarrhea, and we're having CD4 counts. You can see that they are wearing camouflage clothes and it. So these are your CD4 counts. We explain to kids, you can't come to a kid and say, oh, your CD4 count is high, I'm very happy for you, oh, your cells are high. Child does not understand that, but every child knows what a soldier is. When you ask them, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a soldier. Kids know what are soldiers. So we refer to CD4 count or cells in our bodies. We call them soldiers because they know what soldiers do. They know that soldiers are fighters. They know that soldiers are protectors, and they know that soldiers are strong. So we always tell them, okay, so what germs do when they get inside your body is that they attack your soldiers and they try and kill your soldiers. Let me try and see if I can find a picture where germs are actually killing and fighting soldiers. But in this picture, you get to see soldiers are strong. When Sister Z gives you your medication and you take it, soldiers are strong, and soldiers now start killing germs. So when you take your medication, it means that your soldiers will be strong enough to be able to kill germs. I do have another picture where germs are actually scared and they are terrified and they are killed by the soldiers. So that gives a child a sense of, oh, so if I take my medication, it means that the soldiers are going to be strong and they will be able to kill the germs in my body. But now, that's the information you give to a child about any type of illness. And now, we move to HIV, right? Because at the end of the day, this is about... my lips are dry, but sure. This is about HIV. Tell the child, as I have been explaining to you that there are different types of germs. Now, you have a particular germ that is different from the ones that I've been sharing with you. And this particular germ, the only difference between it and these other germs is that this particular germ does not die. What does it do? It only sleeps. So HIV does not die, it only sleeps. And by HIV does not die, it only sleeps. What do we mean? We mean that HIV cannot be cured right now because we don't know what the future holds, right? We mean HIV cannot be cured right now, but it can be controlled. It can be suppressed, right? Because that is the language we use with adults. We tell them that, you cannot be HIV positive and then later on become HIV negative. You can only be HIV positive and later on become virally suppressed. Okay, like be able to suppress the virus, where we get now results that are written lower than detectable limit when we are checking your viral load, meaning your viral load is suppressed. So when you come and tell a child, but your viral load is suppressed, like, what are you saying? What are you talking about? I do not understand. Okay, speak a language that I will understand. What do we say to our kids? My baby, guess what? Guess what? We are winning, because all the germs that are in your body that cannot be cured, they are sleeping. Check that out. This is HIV, and this are our soldiers. Our soldiers are so strong, you guys, so much that they are even oppressing and compressing the germ on the floor, and the germ is sleeping. Why is it sleeping? Because Sister Z gave me medication, and I took that medication exactly how Sister Z said I should take it, and now the virus in my blood, this red circle is the blood, the virus in my blood, not virus Z, the germ in my blood is sleeping, and my soldiers are happy, and my soldiers are strong. That's the language we use. We don't say, oh, we are now getting your results, and your results are coming out to be very good, your viral load is suppressed. No, shut up. The child will not understand that. You know, that has also made my life so much easier, you guys, in terms of taking bloods with my kids. You guys know how kids hate needles, right? What am I saying? Not kids only. Men are the worst, okay? Men hate needles, guys. Every time I collect bloods from male species, the struggle. But that's not the focus of this video. It has actually made it easier for me to collect bloods from kids that I have sat down and had these sessions with their mothers, and them being involved in this session. It has made it easy for me to collect bloods from them. Just I think a couple of days or weeks ago, I took bloods from a 7-year-old, and knowing how much of a struggle it is, and there will be a lot of kicking, a lot of swearing, a lot of throwing things at me, pricking them with a needle. But what I have noted is that every child I've sat down with, together with their parent, using this book to communicate with the child, to teach the child about HIV, whenever I have to take bloods, the kids actually cooperate. They even look forward to it, because they want to know if the germ that is in their bodies is sleeping or not. So every time I collect bloods, I always tell them, okay, so today is the day, my guy or my girl, Sister Z is going to prick you with a needle. It's going to be a bit uncomfortable. Also, don't lie and say to a child, it's not going to be painful, blah blah blah, let's go take bloods, let's go to the clinic, it won't be painful. Or don't even lie and say, you see, the nurses are gonna come and inject you with their needle. Stop it. Don't do that with a child. Don't threaten them with their condition and the situations that they find themselves under because of this condition. Because the fact that they have to collect bloods every year or in 6 months, it's a situation that they found themselves in because of having HIV in their bodies. So if you are going to use it as a weapon or as a mode of threat to get them to do things that you want them to do, or to get them to behave, it is a problem. Believe me when I say it's a problem. You are creating a problem for us, and you're also creating a problem for the child, because the child will feel like, yes, sis, now because of HIV I have to endure pains, now because of HIV I have to go to the clinics, and it's going to seem like an unpleasant activity to do, and it will even make the child feel, it is not necessary, it is not worth it, screw it, I don't want to take these tablets anymore. That's why they grow and become teenagers and now become rebellious. They even come in my consulting room and pull this face, guys. Anyways, these kids that I've had these sessions with, the virus sleeps. Every time they come in my consulting room and it's time for us to do blood monitorings, it's such a pleasant activity to do with them, because I'm like, okay, this is the day where we get to see if the germ is sleeping or not. This is the day where I get to see if you listened to me the last time we had our session or you didn't. And they always look forward to it, and they are always confident. And what makes them confident is the fact that they've now been taking their treatment with a goal. The moment you say to a child, you're going to drink these tablets for the rest of your life, and you don't explain why do they have to drink them for the rest of their lives, then you're not going to win it, because they don't have a reason of why they should do it. We always say, when we feel demotivated as adults, always remember your why. But when you tell a child to drink ARVs and you don't tell them their why, you don't tell them why they should drink those ARVs, then when they are demotivated, they have no reason to continue. But once I sit and have these sessions with adults and children and teach them what HIV is about, teach them why they should be on antiretroviral therapy, they now have a why reason. And what is that why reason? It's so that the virus can sleep. And when the virus is asleep, the germ, there's the germ, not the virus, the germ. When the germ is asleep, it means it won't be able to kill its soldiers, right? The child's soldiers, right? I want to show you guys a picture. Oh, yeah. So now, when the results come back, please, professional nurses, moms, dads, caregivers, please, 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 give children results, okay? Do not take bloods from a child this month, and then next month when they coming back, you continue to give. Hi guys, hi Cindy. I can see that you guys have joined me. Thank you so much. Hi Mama Teresa, thank you so much for joining me. So when you take bloods from the child, I'm now talking to the caregiver as well as professional nurses. When you take bloods from the child, or when you take the child to the clinic to take bloods, the child deserves to know about what are their results, guys. Those results are not yours, okay? They belong to the person whom you took the bloods from. They are not of the parent. They are of the child. The child deserves to know about the results. Now, you are not going to come here and congratulate the mother. I'm not saying don't congratulate them. Congratulate them, it's fine, but also include my babies, okay? Because once you do this, sit down with them and actually talk to them, they make sure they play their part. They become responsible. It's one of the reasons, actually, it's something that I want to cover at the end of this video. But with them contributing to taking the treatment and committing to it, they also having a sense of responsibility now, and they want to be praised for it, okay? They want to be applauded for it. So don't say to the mother, oh, she's doing really good, while she's standing there, by the way. She's doing really good, her results are fine, so yeah, continue with treatment. And the mother, when they get home, she doesn't even explain to her what do they mean when they are saying her results are good. She should continue with treatment. You know, we take the kid, you put them down, and you explain to them, okay, remember last month we took bloods to check if the virus is sleeping in your body or not, and also to check how strong your soldiers are. Now the results are back, and guess what? We are winning. You see, your soldiers are strong, and you see now the kid is happy, the caregiver is also happy. They are in a celebratory mode. So include kids results. And also, as a caregiver, if you see that your professional nurse or your doctor is not including the child, initiate that conversation. While the caregiver is speaking, the professional nurse or the healthcare provider is speaking, let the child know, but are you listening to that? The doctor says that your soldiers are now strong, and the germ in your blood is sleeping, and it means you are doing well. Congratulations. You can even buy them an ice cream after that consultation or something healthy. Because the other most important thing is to teach our kids to eat healthy. But guys, you abantwana bethu bayawatya amazimba ne-sweet. Alright. But you also need to teach children, not only HIV positive children, but all the children, to eat healthy and make them understand nice food. What do we call them? Konje there by my adolescents and youth friendly zone. What do we call them? But I know we have nice food and we have necessary food. And necessary food, we eat them every single day. And nice food, we eat them when we are celebrating things. So by nice food, we are talking your ice creams, your chocolates, your cakes. Those are the foods that we eat when we are celebrating. But your veggies, your fruits, your water, those are things that we eat each and every single day. Necessity and necessary for our soldiers. So as healthcare providers, as caregivers of children who are living with HIV, please, please, please let us give kids feedback of their results. When they take bloods, the following month, sit down with them, explain to them what the results mean and what are they saying in a language that is appropriate to them. So a lot of hard work, a lot of the work that needs to be done with children who are living with HIV, it's actually done during the partial disclosure process, which is from the age of 3 to 9 years. And most of the times when I sit with caregivers and try to find out about why haven't they disclosed to the children, the reason that I always find is that they think that the child is too young to understand. Nope. And the biggest mistake you can make is to hide something from a child from the age of 3 to the age of what? Because they normally disclose when kids are what, 13, 14. That is almost like 10 years of that child's life. And this child has been taking this treatment, and you've been saying, this is treatment for allergies, this is treatment for asthma, this is treatment for TB. Let's refrain from lying to them, because once we lie to them, now we are breaking trust. Remember to speak slow. Augustine. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll try. Now with what was I saying? Okay, I was saying that once we not tell the kids the honest truth from the go, we're now making them not to trust us. I mean, this child will sit there and say, but I've been drinking this thing for like years and years and years, guys. And they remember, one of my kids once said, I've been drinking this medication from the time I was doing grade 4. And I know, for her to know that she started drinking the medication from the time she was doing grade 4, there is an event that is attached to that grade 4. There is something that makes her not forget. There is an event, and that event, it might be holding a lot of pain, and it might be something that there are still questions and confusions around it. So much that she remembers. She has attached to it. When did I start drinking this medication? It was on that day when mom took me to the clinic when I was sick, or I had a painful ear, and the sister at the clinic pricked me here. I don't remember why the sister at the clinic pricked me, but I remember that from that day that nurse gave me that medication. I still remember the bitterness of the taste of the medication that stays in the refrigerator, and that is Kaletra for you. I still remember. And they will tell me now, I'm talking about someone that is currently 16 years old, and I'm sitting with them in my consulting room trying to understand why are they defaulting the treatment consecutively, like keep on relapsing and relapsing and relapsing. And every time I ask about why, and I now try to dive in deep into their problems, they will say, I remember when I started drinking this medication. It was when I was doing grade 4, and nobody bothered to tell me why I was drinking this medication for years and years and years, sister. They only told me now. Guys, I'm even getting emotional. They only told me now when I was doing matric or when I did grade 11. And by the way, it was after I had found out for myself from the internet, because I took my phone and Googled and wanted to understand why am I drinking this medication. So we are breaking trust. And imagine if you lied to a child for 10 years. Do you honestly think now that child is going to trust you with anything? Every time they look at you, they are asking themselves about, what else could you be hiding from me? What else could you not be telling me? Those are the questions that they get to ask themselves. But because they are children and they are taught not to question adults, they are told not to say nasty things or to stand up to adults. They ask themselves those questions and they get no answers, and they build up, and it tends to be a boiling anger. And the only way they can now react is by detaching themselves from the treatment. They detach themselves from the treatment and they will tell you, nope, I'm not taking this treatment of yours anymore. You guys can go ahead and take it. Because the other thing that is very confusing to our kids is that, I mean, I'm drinking treatment every day, but I'm not sick. Like, Kanjan, why am I drinking it for? I mean, like, tablets are meant for sick people, and I'm not sick. I don't feel sick. So why should I continue drinking it? Go ahead and drink it. I've had instances in my consulting room where children told me and the caregiver to drink the medication because we are the ones who are saying he is sick. Yena, he is not sick. This goes to show Ukba, this child didn't have the partial disclosure process being done to them. They were just dumped with a huge word of, you are HIV positive, drink your medication. And they like, what? When? How? Kanjan? Because I've been drinking medication for allergy that I do not even know, allergy that I've never even experienced. So you guys are the ones who seem to be confused, because one moment you are saying I'm drinking medication for allergy, and now jiggy the same medication is for HIV. No, Sister Z, go ahead and drink that medication, my darling sister, together with my mom, because the two of you adults seem to be crazy, seem to not know your story. So let's refrain from lying to children with their diagnosis.